What's the most common thing people get wrong about Spacecoin?
You shouldn't capitalize C. It's all lowercase after the S.
It's even in the question written that way.
I like I said,
Right.
yeah, like Bitcoin, credit coin, Spacecoin, all lowercase C.
All lowercase.
Yeah.
Just the S.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. SpaceX just filed for 1 million orbital satellites. Google's building data centers in space. How does that make you feel as someone who's been building in this space for years?
Happy, because when big boys paved the way, the whole industry will benefit from the scale. Mm-hmm. There's more manufacturing capacity, means cheaper and better equipments, components, satellites, launches. So it's beneficial for everyone.
Great. I think that's really the case, right? When people rush in, it's bolsters the entire industry.
Yeah. I mean, like we can expect more standardized industry practices, protocols and such. When everybody is boutique, then you can expect less so, right? So I hope even they are not going to start the forward days of the satellites yet, but I think that's coming. Now we're gonna see manufacturing lines of satellites printing out standardized satellites and parts, which will allow the smaller companies to benefit from and build their own version of more specialized ones. Yeah, so I think the whole space is opening up.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's interesting, with SpaceX, they kind of started that process, right, of mass producing satellites. And now we're starting to see more and more companies coming in doing more of a factory style approach rather than, like you said, the boutique approach.
Yeah, I think it's kind of similar to what, there's this famous experiment, I don't know the name of the experiment, but when you drop a mouse into a water, let's say it survives for 6 hours, gives up after like 6 hours or so. But if you rescue it right before it drowns, then it can stay alive for like, let's say 36 hours or something. Once you see somebody doing it, suddenly now you see like 10, 20 people doing the same. We see this kind of things happening repeatedly in sports too. When somebody goes sub 10 seconds on the 100 meters sprinting, now you have like hundreds and thousands of people doing sub 10 seconds on 100 meters.
Right, yeah, that's pretty crazy. You set a world record, and then the next year someone sets another world record. But if you tried to go back 10 years and do it from there, it wouldn't be possible.
Yeah, the world record of Olympics 20, 30 years ago would barely make into the state competition now.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's driven by technology, right? Like shoes get better, the clothing gets better, the training regimes get better, the understanding of the physics of the sport get better.
Right. Yeah. But I think it's fundamentally also the mindset. Because the reality as you perceive is a combination of your assumptions about the reality, right? And many of them are wrong. Once you get rid of a couple, then you can go a little bit further than you thought you would.
So we're living in a simulation.
Don't tell that.
All right, let's get back on script here. If you had to explain what we're building to your mom, what would you say?
I am explaining to my mom
or your uncle,
so I'll assume that we're explaining to a regular folk, like random person that we encounter on the street. Depending on how excited they are, I usually start with, we are building telecommunication satellite like Starlink. And if they are more inclined to know more, asking like, what's the difference between you and Starlink? I tell them, well, we are open source and decentralized network, meaning that anyone can build and launch their own satellite based on our open source technology and be part of this network. And by decentralizing this telecommunications network, we are aiming to achieve permissionless connectivity, or you can call it extreme net neutrality. And our mission is to, I guess, defend the freedom of speech in that sense.
Yeah. You mentioned net neutrality, and I mean, I think that's a term that's been tossed around and abused quite a lot. What's your sense, like, when you think about the future of satellite internet, how do you think that those two pieces are going to play together? Satellites, which are really a global technology, and net neutrality, which is something that I think everyone would benefit from.
So any centralized system is controlled and can be pressured. So decentralized system or network is the only way to create a neutral or permissionless system, based on what I know. So Bitcoin was only possible given the decentralized network that it has created, or any other blockchain. Public blockchains are only possible because they are based on the decentralized network technology. What satellite enabled is, on top of this decentralized network technology, is that it can create a large enough coverage because it's beaming from the space, not on the ground. So to give you a comparison, let's say you put a cell tower and you barely cover a kilometer in diameter from the cell tower, not expanding the coverage that much. But if you're beaming from the space, it can cover like 5,000, 7,000 in diameter. I mean, depending on how high you are or how low you are. So that enabled to create a global network with lower capex compared to building the internet infrastructure from the ground. And the compounding effect was also SpaceX paving the way and commoditized the launch cost and enabled smaller set companies to start launching their own satellites. So which also enabled decentralization further.
Right. Sort of moving that needle from only governments and very large organizations can even afford the very basics to launch satellites to something that, university students, I mean, I even saw some high school students now that are launching satellites.
That's one rich high school student. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
I don't think they were doing it on their own volition, but
Sure.
What's the one moment where you thought this might actually work?
I'll let you know when it happens.
Okay, great answer. Because I was like.
So I think it happened when so we all knew blockchain is feasible because Bitcoin and other blockchains proved it at scale. Like it's now securing trillions of dollars and giving access to whoever's online. And Starlink proved it by providing internet pretty much anywhere on Earth. So after seeing those two work, and after even thinking of putting those two together, then it clicked. So when I saw them separately, I didn't think of this. I didn't even imagining decentralizing internet it was a meme too. Like there was this famous Silicon Valley TV series called Silicon Valley, and they talk about decentralized internet. And it was funny when I saw the TV series. I didn't even think about me doing it myself. But when I somehow combined these two concepts together, then it clicked and it made sense. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great series too.
It is. It's so it's prophecy.
Yeah, it's prophetic.
Of the future.
Yeah. Definitely. In some ways that are quite amusing too.
And it's so realistic.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, when I was flying over here, actually, they had the first season. In there. And I had forgotten some of the early parts of the series, and it's pretty amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
they should do a follow-up series about like AI startups coming up these days.
That would be interesting. Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on AI in space systems and how it might integrate? I know everyone's talking a lot about AI for all sorts of different industries. And what are your thoughts on that?
AI. I don't have a good answer for this. I got this question asked twice yesterday.
Too early to tell.
It will get integrated. Any technology being developed will be utilizing AI heavily. But I think the way AI can contribute to space telecommunications is it will allow us to do lossful compression. And what I mean by that is instead of me recording my voice real time and sending it over for a voice call, you download my voice model, and what I talk get translated, transcribed, and sent to you in text format, and your voice model on your phone will just basically talk as if I'm talking. So much smarter data size, but pretty close, or like extremely close to the version that I'm talking in real life. And we can expand that to a video call on a very remote area without having to spending too much data. Things like those, I imagine will happen soon. And because data is expensive, right? Yeah, especially in remote areas. So I think there are a lot of ways to utilize AI that way. But is it directly integrating with the space technology? Not really, but those use cases, what I imagine would happen. Yeah.
Governments are spending $80 billion on sovereign satellite constellations this year. Why?
Yeah. I guess they care about their sovereignty, and they understand without their own satellites, that's impossible to build. Because nowadays the telecommunications and the optic visuals are critical ones, are built in the space. So maybe that's why.
Yeah, eye in the sky.
Eye in the sky, yeah.
Right. Control your data. We just routed the world's first blockchain transaction through space. Why should a non-crypto person care about that?
Oh, the non-crypto person should be first converted into a crypto person, right?
Step one.
Now because you can do crypto transaction anywhere on the globe, right? Before, the very problem that we wanted to solve was without the access to the internet, you cannot use any web technology, which includes fintech and crypto. But because now we can do crypto transaction via satellites, given sufficient number of satellites, now we can provide access to crypto, which is access to fintech and global digital market, online market, anywhere on the globe. So that's something important. 2.6 billion people don't have access to the internet. Now we're including them into the world economy.
More ways to spend your money on a Sunday night.
Or earn money.
Or earn money, even better.
Mm-hmm.
What keeps you up at night about Spacecoin?
I sleep well.
Oh, that's my job to worry.
When you wind down, you have to wind down.
Right.
You have to have a good night's sleep so you can start working on it again tomorrow. So, yeah, good sleep is important. You get delusional when you're tired, sick, wasted. So, yeah, I think maintaining sanity is very important in building anything great.
Great.
You just need a healthy dose of insanity, but just a healthy dose.
Healthy dose. Like a teaspoon.
Teaspoon
of insanity. All right. That's good. That's good. A lot of crypto projects promise the world and ship nothing. What makes us different?
Promise the earth.
I'll try it again. Yeah. So a lot of crypto projects promise the world and ship nothing.
Promise the world.
What makes us different?
We shipped, and we'll ship. We shipped 4 satellites before the launch of the token even. I would argue it's not an easy project. It's launching satellites and achieving functionality, connectivity, commissioning it, and eventually decommissioning it, and all that is not easy, but we delivered it and continuing to deliver it. Since then, we even built a larger team. Like, we initially started with 1 doctor, Wexler, and now how many doctors do we have in the team now? Like 5, 6?
I have to say like 6, yeah.
Yeah, many gray hairs. We are a team of people with history of delivering and is delivering, and that's why we're different, I guess.
We get it done.
Yeah. Or else.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone who thinks crypto in space sounds ridiculous? And I'll say that I definitely hear that a lot.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Now at your attention.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now I have opportunity to explain how ridiculous it is, even more than you think, in a different way. But we intentionally named the project Spacecoin because it's a great name, right? And even the ticker is great, space, right? It catches attention, and attention is foundational for a project like us. So yeah, thank you. Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. All right, well, back to the AI thing, we touched on it earlier. So Sam Altman called data centers in space ridiculous. Okay. What's your take? Going from ridiculous to ridiculous here, so.
Yeah. AI data centers in space make sense, but I understand why he calls it ridiculous. I didn't read his thread about it. For some reason, I'm getting a similar question over and over these days. I got this question yesterday also. So here's my take on it, right? AI data center is, I'm going to dumb it down or butcher it. It's basically 3 layers of technology: power, or the generation of power. It's basically electricity. And there will be chips on top of it, and there will be models living on top of those chips. Now the limiting factor gets more and more power than the other 2. And space happens to have a great exposure to sunlight, which is great if your limiting factor is power, given the solar panel technology. But then the problem becomes the heating issue. You have to cool your data center down with no conductivity because space has close to no air. So the technology that people are claiming to have or claiming to be being built is they're going to increase the surface area a lot and radiate the heat out very efficiently, is what people are saying. Oh, I don't know if it's working today or if it's going to work soon. But I predict we have another option. We don't have to build it on the orbit. We can build it on the moon, for example. That's how I would do it, because moon very conveniently is facing Earth all the time, and it has matter, so you can put deep rods down to moon's surface and conduct your heat through that. So I think AI data center at a large scale on the moon makes a lot of sense, even more sense than orbital data centers. But in general, I think space AI data center makes sense. And if any edge AI data center, edge computing for AI data makes even more sense in the near future, than having it accessible anywhere from the globe is additional benefit, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, to me, it seems that edge compute is a much better application than sort of the traditional data center concept that we've got here, right? You do have power, but you've got thermal limitations, you've got size, weight limitations as well. And, the other problem with anything that's in orbit is it's only going to be there for however long you can keep kicking it so that it keeps flying,
Well,
and
I mean, AI chips don't last that long anyway, right?
Right, they get replaced pretty quick.
Yeah, so maybe that's a feature. Yeah, you naturally decommission it and you can replenish with the newer chips, because your old chips is, let's say, 3 years old already, which is super outdated in AI times. So I think it can be a feature. Yeah.
So what's the end game? Like, if everything goes right, what does the world look like in 10 years because of Spacecoin?
Now we will have internet infrastructure with no gatekeepers. So anyone, including AI agents, can access the internet without having to subscribe to certain company or government. And we'll also have an option to have a private connection from any point on Earth to the other point. And most information, I believe, will flow through that network compared to, because it's a friction, like gatekeeping is friction. And if you have to go through that gatekeeping every time you iterate, it becomes slower. So naturally, people will lean towards frictionless option, and I think we will be that frictionless option.
So you're thinking that we could, in a way, replace how the traditional ISP model works?
Yeah. I mean, all the business model will change given time, given the innovation of technology. But network will get revolutionized given Spacecoin, because now we can have an option of the permissionless connectivity, which I think will be very interesting for our AI agents, because AI agents don't own KYC. There's no customer, there's no KYA, right? Like, it's basically a code living in somebody's computer. And they naturally don't have credit card issued for them. They can use their owner's credit card, but it's not their own credit card.
So it's like giving your credit card to your tablet.
Right. So I think blockchain will be a natural infrastructure for AI agents, and Spacecoin will be one of them. And I can see like hundreds of millions of AI agents talking to each other online through Spacecoin network on the ground. in the space.
Do you think that kind of interaction will lead to optimization? That if you sort of remove the incentive for fiefdoms to form, that you kind of will move into a system that's more self-optimizing, so traffic transfer becomes more efficient.
So what we believe here, the work we are doing, what we believe here at Space Network, the builder of Spacecoin, is that we are introducing market economy to the data market, and we believe a market economy works much better than controlled economy, and naturally will be more optimized because each individual node will optimize for their benefit, which collectively will be the benefit of the whole network, because they are providing, basically they will optimize for more ROI given the investment they're making. They're gonna try to serve more users, more data, more efficiently. So it will naturally optimize the system, is what we believe.
Right. We've met with governments across Asia and Africa. What surprised you most about those conversations?
They're more open than I thought. As a business person or technologist, you don't really meet government people or regulators that often, right? So you have some kind of stereotype in your head about them. But once I met them about Spacecoin, and once I got to explain what we're trying to do in terms of sovereignty of your connectivity, they were very open because they were already worried about exactly that problem, but they didn't really have a good option. But when we presented them with the option of being part of this open source permissionless network, having an option to own their own satellite, operate their own satellites, it appealed to them. So it was very exciting discussions across both Asia and Africa.
Right. Sort of this excitement for here's a new technology, something that has been out of reach for so long.
Right.
It's accessible.
Given an option, any government will want to own or have a say in their internet infrastructure, right? Like the extreme case will be somewhere like Iran. They want to be able to turn it off when needed. But that's true for any government, right? On some level, they're not gonna turn the internet off, but they still want to make sure that internet will stay on. The reverse problem, right? But when third party, who's not even a local entity, can turn the internet off from the whole continent, then it becomes a problem. And even knowing that it's a possibility is very scary for people. Yeah. So that's why when we presented a neutral option, they were more excited about it.
And there's that concept again of neutrality.
Yeah.
It's kind of Gene Roddenberry would be very, very proud. All right. I like the way these questions flow. Do you think internet access is a human right?
I think internet access is adjacent to freedom of speech. If you believe freedom of speech is human right, then I think you should also agree internet access is also human right. I think it's an expansion of human right. Let's say you can think about things, but you cannot talk about it. That's a violation of freedom of speech. Let's say you can talk about it, but not allowed to share your talks with anyone. Isn't that a violation of freedom of speech? And when most of the conversation is now getting exchanged online, if you cut off their internet access to you, I think it is a violation of freedom of speech. So if you agree freedom of speech is fundamental human right, then I think you should agree that internet access is also part of the fundamental human right.
What's one thing the crypto industry needs to stop doing?
One thing. I think we should be less emotional. I guess any market is emotional, but because we are so integrated with market, the technology builders, users in the market is so tightly integrated. People are so emotional about the market reaction, and they get happy when the market goes up, they get depressed when market goes down. And now I think we need to go beyond that and become more mature and get less affected by the market price when we're building. Let's be more rational. I guess that's what I wanted to say overall in every aspect. Yeah.
The space economy is projected to be worth trillions. Where does Spacecoin fit in that?
I think SpaceX itself is projected to be $1 trillion. So I guess, yeah, it makes sense to say space industry will be in trillions, plural, right? Spacecoin will be very unique position where it will stay like Linux or Android of OS world or the smartphone OS world, being a neutral ground for anybody to participate. And I think one of the very important value of open source is it allows faster iteration, and innovation is all about iterating. Like you build, see what works, what doesn't work, build the next version, you iterate over and over, hone it, make it better, or bring it to some other direction. And open source allows it in a way that anyone can start iterating, and also at the fastest speed that they can iterate on, because they don't have to get anybody's permission about it. So I think we will be that ecosystem where people can go nuts and build a lot of interesting, crazy things.
So what's the biggest sacrifice you've made for this project?
Because I was promoting Spacecoin last year, I didn't get to mention CreditCoin. So our company, Glua, so there's two companies involved in Spacecoin. Glua, which is a blockchain technologies company, and Space Network, which is space telecommunications company building satellite technology and telecommunications technology. I'm a CEO of Glua, and Glua is contributing to both Spacecoin and CreditCoin. And they have been working on CreditCoin a lot last year, more so than Spacecoin, because Spacecoin was more focused on the space and telecommunications side. But because we were focused on Spacecoin, because that's what we are launching soon, I didn't get to talk that much about CreditCoin at all, which is what we sacrificed.
Okay. Everyone's forgotten about CreditCoin.
I hope they didn't.
I mean, they shouldn't, right? Because our satellites are all really an homage to its CTC.
Correct. And also Spacecoin is launched on top of CTC, CreditCoin, so they shouldn't. But I'm only one person, and if I mix messages, then people will get confused, especially people who don't know me, don't know about Spacecoin or Creditcoin. So we decided to focus on Spacecoin last year when it comes to promotion, and that's the sacrifice we made.
All right. What's one thing about this mission that you've never said publicly?
That I cannot say publicly for legal reasons. There are many things I cannot say publicly for legal reasons.
Is there anything though that maybe has been kept under wraps for a long time that maybe you want to give a little hint to the people out there, something on the horizon or something that maybe they don't know about that kind of keeps you going?
This is a recent news. We didn't announce it yet, but we're actually launching agentic AI facing products that based on the space network technology that we're building. So it will be a network product for AI agents, more focused on AI agents. And this product will be fulfilling the needs of AI agents when they're navigating the web, and not be considered as a bot, but close to or as a human. Also, we're on top of that technology, we're building the privacy network. So AI agents or even human can have a direct and very private conversation, even more so than the privacy that you can achieve with just Messenger like Telegram or Signal. So those two will come even before the satellite telecommunications is fully built and be useful, and will be shared and merged with the satellite technology eventually.
Wow. Sounds pretty cool. Looking forward to that.